1936, and Lux Radio Theater is about to present from its new home on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood, California, The Thin Man. Presentation of The Thin Man, brought to you by Lux Toilet Soap. 9 out of 10 beautiful Hollywood screen stars use Lux Toilet Soap and have for years.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Thin Man, based on the best-selling novel by Dashiell Hammett. We're in a fashionable cafe in the Montmartre in New York City. It's Christmas Eve and the well-appointed dining room is filling rapidly. From the bar comes a good-looking young fellow, about 35. Tall, casual, and worldly wise, he's Nick Charles, a well-known private detective. And he's waiting for his charming wife, Nora. As he takes his place at the table, a young girl on the other side of the room recognizes him and hurries over.
Aren't you Mr. Nick Charles, the detective?
I am, yes. I'm Nick Charles.
I thought I recognized you. My name is Dorothy Winans.
Oh, yes. How do you do?
Do you mind if I sit down for a while?
Oh, no, but I expect my wife in a few minutes if you don't mind explaining your presence to her.
Oh, of course. Well, that's my fiancé over there at the other table.
Oh, well, that makes everything all right, doesn't it? Now sit down.
Thank you.
Your name is,
Dorothy Winan. I'm Clyde Winan's daughter.
Clyde Winant. Oh, yes, of course. Your father was having some trouble with one of his inventions a few years ago. I handled the case for him.
Yes, I know. Well, that's why I want to speak to you now.
Oh, well, I'm not practicing anymore, Miss Winant. You see, I retired.
Oh, please, Mr. Charles. I need you.
Oh? What seems to be the trouble?
It's Dad. He went away about 3 months ago, and I haven't heard from him. Not a word. I'm worried sick.
Oh, I wouldn't if I were you. After all, he's an inventor. When he gets an idea he wants to work on, it's only natural that he should hide away somewhere. You know, he's done it before.
Yes, but never for 3 months.
Well, did you see him before he left?
No. Mr. Macaulay was the only one he spoke to. Well, Mr. Macaulay and Julia Wolfe. She's Dad's secretary.
Julia Wolfe. Oh, yes, I believe I've met her. And Macaulay is your father's lawyer, isn't he?
Yes.
His lawyer and his secretary both speak to him before he leaves, but no one knows where he went.
Well, he wouldn't tell them.
And what about your mother? You wouldn't tell her either?
No, and Mother and Dad aren't. Well, they haven't seen each other for some time.
Oh, I see. Yes. Well, I don't know just what I can do for you. Now, why don't you speak to Macaulay? Maybe he's heard from your father and forgotten to let you know.
Oh, well, I'll call him now.
Yeah, that's a girl. Let me know how it turns out, will you?
Of course. I'll be back in a few minutes.
I'll be here.
Esther, come here. Come back here this instant.
Madam, you cannot bring this dog in here. Dogs are not allowed. I'm sorry.
Now, get it. Asta, come here, boy. Here, down, boy, down.
Madam, it isn't only your dog. If we allowed everyone...
Oh, here you are.
Asta, quiet, boy, quiet. Hello, Nora. I hear you brought the dog.
I didn't bring him. He brought me. I think the doorman is mad at me.
Madam, I'm afraid you have to take the dog outside.
It's all right, Joe. It's my dog. And it's my wife.
You might have mentioned me first.
But Mr. Charles, are you sure that...
Of course I'm sure. He's well trained. He'll behave himself.
I know, but he might bite someone.
I don't know. Only me. Joe, he only bites me.
Yes, he's fussy about what he eats.
Go ahead, Joe. I'll be responsible for him.
Very well, sir. If you say so, sir.
Well, there you are, my dear. See what an influential husband you've got.
You do have a certain standing with Dorman.
Oh, Mr. Charles.
Oh, yes, Dorothy.
May I introduce my fiancé, Auntie Reed, Mr. Charles?
How do you do?
How do you do, sir?
Any luck, Dorothy?
Yes, well, he's just around the corner.
Your father?
No, Mr. Macaulay.
We're going to see him now.
Oh, fine.
Oh, Nick,
Yes, my dear. Oh, I beg your pardon. Miss Winans, Mr. Reed, my wife.
how do you do?
How do you do? I'm sorry we have to rush, but you'll excuse us, Mrs. Charles?
Of course.
We're staying at the Normandy for a couple of weeks. Why don't you drop around?
Thanks, we will. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, Mrs. Charles.
Goodbye. Pretty girl.
Yeah, if you like blondes.
You've got the type.
Only you, darling. Lanky brunettes with wicked jaws.
Who is she?
Well, I was hoping I wouldn't have to tell you. Dorothy is my daughter. You see, it was spring in Venice, and I was so young. I didn't know what I was doing. We were all like that on my father's side.
Oh, by the way, how is your father's side?
Oh, much better, thanks.
So who is she really, Nicky?
Dorothy Wynant, daughter of Clyde Wynant. I was working on a case for her father. Some nut wanted to kill him.
Charming. What's the matter now?
Well, Wynant's disappeared. Dorothy's afraid something's happened to him.
Has anything happened to him?
My darling wife, how do I know? Funny, though, that secretary of his ought to know something.
Secretaries usually do. Who is she?
Julia Wolfe. A smart girl, Julia. Always suspected she had some kind of a hold on Wynant. That's why he kept her on.
Maybe you ought to give her a ring.
What for?
Oh, just to say hello.
Yeah, maybe.
Want a nickel?
Oh, no, I've got one. I'll be right back. Hello? Yes, I want Skylar 40962. No, Skylar. Yes, that's right. 40962.
Hello? Yes, Julia Wolfe speaking. Who? Oh, well, hello, Mr. Charles. Yes, well, what is it that you wanted to? Oh, no, I don't. He didn't tell me, not a word. I'm sorry. That's all right. Goodbye. Morelli.
Yeah, I'm coming. Well, who was that?
Nick Charles.
The detective?
He wanted to know where Wynant was.
Oh, yeah? Why?
He didn't say.
Did anyone see Wynant come here that night, the night you and him had the scrap?
I don't know.
Oh, no? Well, I guess I'll scram.
Wait a minute, Morelli. Where are you going?
I'm just taking a little stroll, that's all. If Nick Charles is gonna pop up around here, I want to be far away when he does.
No, don't be a fool, Morelli.
Oh, huh? Hey, listen, sister. I got a record, and I ain't itching to come face to face with no dick.
Sit down, Morelli. You need money, don't you?
Sure. What about it? You got some?
Plenty. I'm Wynant's secretary.
Oh, yeah? What do you mean by that?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Your friends here serve good dinners, Nick.
Yeah, they're all right.
You still didn't tell me what Julia Wolfe had to say.
Oh, nothing. She didn't know where he was, that's all. Finished?
Finished.
Let's get out. Grab a cab and get back to the hotel.
How many drinks have you had?
6 martinis.
Waiter, 6 martinis. You're not going to have anything on me. Oh, what hit me?
The last martini.
Hello? Hello? Ask to be quiet. Hello? Yes, who is it? Oh, yes, I see. Thank you.
Who is it?
It's Mr. Macaulay. He's on his way up.
Macaulay. I wonder what he wants.
Isn't he Wynant's lawyer?
Yes.
Maybe he's got some news.
Well, he ought to. Say, you're worrying an awful lot about this business. You could forget it.
I'll open it.
Begging your pardon, I was wondering.
I'm Mrs. Charles. Come in, Mr. Macaulay.
Hey, hello, Macaulay.
Hello, Charles. How are you?
Fine, sit down.
Thanks. Dorothy told me you'd be here. I took the liberty of coming to see you.
Of course.
Charles, what's Mimi up to?
Oh, Dorothy's mother. Yes. Does she have to be up to something?
Well, she usually is, trying one way or another to get money out of Wynant. I wanted to find out if you were sleuthing for her.
Oh, I haven't been a detective for 4 years.
Oh, you don't say.
My wife's father died and left her a lumber mill and a narrow gauge railroad and a couple of other things, and I'm looking after them.
I see, I see.
What's all the fuss about? Is Wynant in hiding?
You know as much about it as I do. I haven't seen him in 3 months. He sends word through Julia Wolf when he wants money. I give it to her, and she gives it to him.
Mine. Hello? Oh, just a moment. It's for you, Mr. Macaulay, your office.
Oh, thank you. Hello? What? He is? Well, where is he? Very well. Well, he's back in town.
Mr. Wynant?
Yes, thank heaven. He's waiting for me now. Well, I've got to be off. It's no joke working for a man like that. Goodbye, Mrs. Charles. Goodbye, Charles.
So long.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you. It's almost Christmas, darling.
If that's a hint, you can drop it. You get your present at breakfast and not a minute before.
Cheat. You know, Nick, I've been thinking. It's funny the way Wynant popped up all of a sudden.
Yes, wasn't it?
Do you think there's anything behind it?
Why should there be?
I don't know. It just strikes me as funny, that's all. You're nearer than I am, darling.
Hello? Speaking. Oh, hello, Dorothy. What? What? When? Oh, I see. Well, yes, of course, I'll be there.
What is it, darling? Darling, what is it?
Julia Wolf has just been murdered.
You are listening to The Story of the Thin Man from the stage of the Lux Radio Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. Before we go on with the story of Nick and Nora, we ought to take you on a quick tour of Hollywood. The lobby of the Hotel Roosevelt, where stars and newcomers gather. A young actress just breaking into pictures is telling her friend of her success.
Laura, here's one thing. I've got one of the best managers in Hollywood, and that means a lot. Oh, but the rules he laid down for me.
Jean, what do you mean, rules?
Well, you'd think I was going into training for the Olympics. I've got to lose 5 pounds, I've got to take lessons in singing and diction, and of course, my complexion has got to be perfect. I've got to be more careful than ever not to get little blemishes or large pores, and something they call cosmetic skin. Thank goodness I use Lux regularly, the way everyone around here does.
9 out of 10 beautiful Hollywood screen stars use Lux toilet soap and have for years.
According to definition, affection is a thing that seems to change you from the start. And complexion is a thing, if affection is to blame, will act just like a mirror to your heart. The object of my affection can change my complexion from white to rosy red. Anytime she holds my hand and tells me that she's mine. There are many girls who can thrill me, some who can fill me with dreams of happiness. But I'll never rest until she said she's mine. Leave me so fair. Yes, she can go when she wants to go, do what she wants to do. Oh, the object of my affection
touches my foolish heart. Lovely, never change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you and the way you look tonight. And the way you look tonight.
And now, on with the show of The Thin Man. An hour has gone by since Nick heard about the murder of Julia Wolfe. In the living room of their suite at the hotel, Nick and Nora are listening to the radio. A news reporter is broadcasting the latest developments in the case.
And here's the latest news in the Julia Wolfe murder. Police have found out that the beautiful blonde secretary was a gangster's girl and is spreading the dragnet for one Joe Morelli, said to be hiding out somewhere in the city. In other news in Paris today, the chamber deputies.
Never mind the Chamber of Deputies. Joe Morelli, that's what I want to know about. Well, did you get any more information out of headquarters?
As much as they had. Julia Wolfe was shot and killed about 9 or 9:30. Body discovered on the floor of the living room a little after 11.
Who discovered it?
Well, that'll surprise you. Mimi Wynant.
Dorothy's mother?
Yeah,
What was she doing there?
I don't know.
Where's Clyde Wynant?
Still missing.
Missing. But Macaulay was going to see him. They had an appointment.
I spoke to Macaulay. Wynant never showed up. Nobody knows where he is.
It's going to be pretty tough on Dorothy, isn't it?
Why?
It very nearly looks as if Clyde Wynant skipped one appointment to keep another with Julia Wolfe.
Oh, you think he killed her?
Oh, it's just a guess. Anyway, it sounds like an interesting case. Wouldn't you like to take it?
No, I haven't the time. I'm much too busy seeing that you don't lose any of that money I married you for.
Oh, sounds like a good case. Girl mysteriously murdered. They haven't found any clues yet. No gun, no fingerprints.
Yes, I wonder if they... No, I don't want to hear anything about it.
Well, isn't that my drink?
Oh, what are you drinking?
Rye.
Yeah, that's yours. Oh, that's Dorothy. She said she wanted to see me. Well, come in, Dorothy.
Thank you. Is anyone else here?
Just Nora. Have a seat.
Hello, Dorothy.
I'm sorry for breaking in on you like this.
That's all right. We're used to it.
Anything wrong?
Just... Julia Wolfe is dead.
Yes, we know that.
Here's the gun she was shot with.
What are you trying to tell me? That you did it?
Yes. She kept me from seeing my father. I went down there to ask her where he was, and she wouldn't tell me. I shot her.
Where did you hit her?
Why, in the heart.
Oh, pretty good shot you are. What else did she do?
She fell down.
Did she make any sound? Didn't scream?
I don't know.
Which way did she fall?
She fell over backwards.
Oh, yeah. People fall toward a shot, you know, not back from it. I knew you were lying.
Oh, God.
Now, come now, straight up. Now, where did you get this gun?
I bought it in a pawn shop.
Yes, I thought so. Now, why did you say you did it? Who were you trying to shield?
Oh, please, don't ask
Well, now
me.
you've got to tell me.
Nick, let me handle this, will you? Dorothy, look at me. Nick is trying to help you. Why don't you help him? You were trying to shield your mother, weren't you?
No.
Your father, then? Dorothy?
Yes, my father.
Why do you think he did it?
Well, Mother was the first one to find Julia Wolfe. Well, she found something in Julia's hand and she took it.
What was it?
A watch chain. It belonged to my father.
So you think your father did it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did your mother turn the chain over to the police?
No, she kept it. She didn't tell them anything about it.
But she showed it to you.
Yes.
Why did your mother go to Julia Wolfe's apartment in the first place?
Well, she went to ask for money.
Oh, money again, huh? Yeah. Yes? Oh, yes, have them come up, please.
Who is it?
Dorothy, I wonder if you wouldn't mind waiting in the bedroom.
No,
It'll only be a minute.
of course.
Well, Nick?
It's Mimi Wynant.
Alone?
She's never alone. Dorothy's brother's with her, screwy college kid, and Some guy by the name of Chris Jorgensen.
Jorgensen? Who's he?
Macaulay told me about him. Hanger-on type. I think he's after Mimi's dough.
But she hasn't any.
Maybe that's why she wanted to get some from Julia. I'll get it. Hello.
Nick, how are you?
Fine. Come in, Mimi.
Thank you. This is my son Gilbert.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
And this is Chris Jorgensen. He's an old friend of mine.
Now, how do you do? Sit down, my wife.
How do you do?
Mrs. Wyden, Gilbert Wyden, Mr. Jorgensen.
How do you do?
Well, Mimi,
Nick, I've never been in such a state in my life. You know, of course, that I was the one who found Julia Wolfe.
So we've heard.
Oh, my dear, it was terrible. I walked in and there she was, lying dead on the floor.
Oh, I meant to ask you, Mother, was there much blood?
Gilbert, don't be so morbid.
But I'm interested in murder. You know, Mr. Charles, I formed a theory about this one already.
was that so?
In my opinion, the man who did it...
Gilbert, be quiet. You don't know anything about it.
Oh, but I do.
Be quiet.
You were saying, Mrs. Wynant?
About finding Julia Wolfe, I was simply petrified. And such a mystery. Clyde Winans crazy, absolutely crazy to stay away at a time like this. No wonder the police think he has something to do with it.
And what do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I know he didn't, but I wish I could find him. I have something very important to tell him, and Macaulay won't help at all. He thinks I just want money.
Well, don't you?
Oh, Nick, you're always teasing.
Mrs. Wynant, were you alone when you found Julia Wolfe?
Why, of course I was.
Wasn't Mr. Jorgensen with you?
I certainly not. I don't know anything about it. The first word I had that Julia Wolfe was dead when Mrs. Wyman called me at my club.
Oh, she called you.
Yes,
Why?
I beg your pardon.
Oh, let's not even talk about it. The thing to do is find Clyde, and that's why I've come for Nick. You will help me find Clyde, won't you?
I'm afraid I can't, Mimi.
Oh, Nick, please.
Now, Mimi, there are 1,000 detectives in New York. Hire one of them.
But he knows you. All you've got to do is get in touch with him and tell him that Mimi says everything is all right, but that I've got to see him.
I tell you again, I don't want any part of it.
Is that final?
Final.
Well, if that's the way you feel.
You turn up, you just help all you can. Give the police every possible assistance.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing in particular.
Oh, well, we'll say good night.
Good night. I'm sorry I can't help you, Mimi.
Hello, is this the Normandy Hotel? I want to speak to Mr. Charles. Yeah, Nick Charles. Hello, Mr. Charles. Say, I'm sorry I woke you up, but Mr. Charles, I'd like to lay a little proposition before you. It's about the murder of Julia Wolfe. Well, what's the difference who I am? Wait a minute. All right. Wait a minute. Don't hang up. I'll tell you who I am, but you gotta keep it under your hat. I'm Al Nunheim. Yeah, Nunheim. Now listen, I know who murdered Julia Wolfe, see? Sure I do. I'll spill it to you for $5,000. I'll tell you how I know, because I was outside of our apartment when she was shot, and I saw the one who did it. I'll spill it to you when I get the... Hey, wait, I can't talk now. I'll call you again.
Hello? Are you still there? Oh, brother.
No, darling.
I don't know. Some crank, I guess. He hung up. Now you better get back to bed and get some sleep.
Nick, are you asleep?
Yes,
Good. I want to talk to you.
that's jolly.
Don't you think you'd like to go back to detecting once in a while, just for the fun of it?
Can't you get to sleep?
No.
Maybe a drink would help you.
No thanks.
Maybe it would if I took it.
Everyone says you're a grand detective.
Well, they were kidding you.
I'd like to see you work.
Tomorrow I'll buy you a whole lot of detective stories.
That poor girl is in an awful spot.
There's nothing I can do to help her.
She thinks you can. Wouldn't hurt you to find out if you could, would it?
Darling, my guess is that Wyman killed Julia, and Dorothy knows it, and the police will catch him without my help.
I think I would like that drink. I'll give you your Christmas present now if you'll give me mine.
At breakfast.
But it's Christmas now.
Breakfast.
What are you going to give me? I hope I don't like it.
Well, you'll have to keep them anyway. The man at the aquarium said he wouldn't take them back. Now, please put out the light. I'm tired.
Oh, all right. But I'm mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
Nick. Did you hear a knock?
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, Master. I want to answer it, Nick.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, all right. Stay in bed. I'll do it myself. Well,
Mr. Charles here.
yes.
I gotta talk to him right away.
What about?
What's going on? What's going on?
There's someone to see you, Nick.
Oh, that's great. I was afraid I'd have to go back to sleep. Come in.
Yeah.
How about a chair?
Stay where you are, both of you. I got you covered, so don't move.
A stick-up!
Ah, it ain't a stick-up. I gotta talk to you, Mr. Charles. I want you to give me something. I want you to give it to me straight. You get me?
Do you mind putting that gun away? My wife doesn't care, but I'm in a delicate condition. Thank you. All right, shoot. Yeah, I mean, what's on your mind?
You don't need to tell me you're tough. I heard about you. I'm Joe Morelli.
I've never heard about you.
I didn't knock Julia off.
All right, you didn't.
I haven't seen her in 3 months. We were all washed up.
Why tell me?
I couldn't have any reason to hurt her. She was always on the up and up with me, but that dirty little Nunheim, he got sore because I clicked with her and he didn't. So he put the finger on me.
Well, that's all swell. Only you're peddling your fish in the wrong market. I've got nothing to do with it.
Listen, Studsy Boy told me you used to be okay. That's why I'm here. To the,
How is Studsy? I didn't know he was out of the stir.
He's all right. He'd like to see you. But listen, what's the law doing to me? Do they think I did it, or is it just something else to pin on me?
I'd tell you if I knew, but I'm not in this. Ask the police.
Hey, that'd be very smart. That'd be the smartest thing I ever did. Me, that a police captain's been in a hospital 3 weeks on account of we had an argument. The boys would like to have me come down and ask some questions. They'd like it right down to the end of their blackjacks. Now, I come to you on the level. Sudsy says you're on the level. Be on the level.
I am on the level. If I knew anything, I would tell you.
What's that?
I don't know. This is your party.
Open up, police.
Now, police, you dirty two-timing...
Hey, look up. Hey, I'll take that gun.
Thanks, officer. You almost had me.
Get some water, Sergeant.
Nora? Nora, are you all right? Nora?
I'm Inspector Gill of the Homicide Bureau.
You're in a good place, Inspector.
Who's that woman on the floor?
My wife.
This guy shoot her?
No, he tried to shoot me. I slapped her in the jaw to get her out of the line of fire. I guess I hit her too hard. Nora? Look at me, Nora. Are you all right, darling?
Oh, you darn fool. You didn't have to knock me out. I knew you'd take him, but I wanted to see you do
I
it.
guess she's all right.
There's a girl with hair on her chest. Okay, Slattery, take Morelli downstairs.
Don't push.
How long?
I said don't push.
Well, how'd you people happen to pop in?
Well, we hear this is getting to be sort of a meeting place for the Winant family. So we figure if we stick around in case the old man himself shows up. Then we see Morelli sneak in and we decided to come up. And pretty lucky for you.
Yes, I might not have been shot.
Morelli a friend of yours?
I never saw him before.
What do you want of you?
Wanted to tell me he didn't kill Julia Wolf.
What's that to you?
Nothing.
What did he think that was to you?
Ask him, I don't know.
I'm asking you.
Well, keep on asking.
Oh, so you're gonna keep mum, huh? All right, Mr. Charles, I won't bother you tonight. But I'll be in tomorrow morning and I'll have plenty of things to ask you. Good night.
Thank you, Inspector Gill. Next time, you come, try to stay longer. Where's Asta? Asta? Asta! Oh, you're a fine watchdog.
He's got more sense than you have. Thank heaven you're not on this case.
Honest, I'm in it. They think I did it.
Well, didn't you?
Come here, you.
Nick, wake up. It's Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Look, here's a telegram for you. It just came.
Oh, open it, will you? Yeah, it's probably a touch from somebody. Well,
Nick,
what is it?
it's from Clyde Winant. Listen. Will you take charge of investigation of Julia Wolf murder? Communicate with Herbert Macaulay, Clyde Winant.
Where's it from?
Philadelphia. Then he didn't do it, did he, Nick?
I don't know. Communicate with Macaulay, huh? All right, we'll ask him up here this morning. Hey, Macaulay, what do you think?
So he wants you to I wish you would, Mr. Charles. Would it help any if I could persuade him to meet you?
It might.
I got word from Wynant myself last night. He gave me a code message to insert in the Times in case I wanted to get in touch with him.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to put it in.
I'm sure you could clear this up. He should appear, you know. It doesn't look well. His staying away at a time like this.
Hello? Yes? Oh, it's for you, Mr. Macaulay. The police department.
Police department? Hello? Where? In Allentown? Yes. When is the next train? Right. I'll get that.
Well?
Wynant's tried to commit suicide. They want me to come down and identify him. I guess this changes the whole story, doesn't it? That looks like an admission of guilt. I had such hopes. I thought if you got on the case, you'd be able to clear him. I thought that Mimi, the way she acted, I was sure that, well, no use thinking of it now. I'm sorry to have wasted so much of your time. You'll excuse me, won't you?
Oh, of course.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, that's that.
What's the matter with you?
The mystery's all gone. And I wanted you to find out who did it.
Maybe I will.
But why
I
not?
don't believe he did it.
Why don't you?
No reason, just a hunch. But I'm going to find out. Come on, Watson, we're going places. I want to talk to Inspector Guild.
Man to man, Mr. Charles. Are you working on this case?
Man to man, I'm not.
But he's interested.
I don't mind telling you, I'd rather have you working with us than against us.
And so would I.
It's a bargain then. Anything you want to know?
And what about the suicide?
Oh, that's a phony. The men didn't even have to go down.
Yeah, I thought it might be. From now on, they're going to think that every thin man over 6 feet with white hair is Wynant.
Do you think that Wynant did it?
Well, it looks like he planned something. He shut up his apartment and his shop. But there's nothing yet to cinch it.
50 will get you 100 that he didn't do it.
Well, who's your candidate?
I haven't got that far yet, but I don't think everything points to Wynant. What about the alibis?
Oh, they're all okay. Mrs. Wynant, the boy, Dorothy, Macaulay, even Morelli. We had to let him go.
And what about Jorgensen?
I'll check on that. Gee, I'm afraid this is kind of dull for you, Mrs. Charles.
Dull. I'm sitting on the edge of my chair.
Well, frankly, I'm stumped. I don't know what to do next. What about you, Charles?
Me? No, but I've got a hunch.
What is it?
Well, I got a call last night. I thought it was from a crank, but I've changed my mind. Whoever he was knew something, and I've got a feeling I'll hear from him again. What time is it?
Almost 10. Still waiting to hear from the crank.
And now. Here, give me that. Quick. Hello? Yes. Yes, this is Nick Charles. Who? I can't hear you. I said I can't hear you. You have to speak louder.
I can't speak any louder. This is Al Nunheim again. You know, I called you last night. Hey, listen, are you still interested in that proposition? You are, huh? All right then. Now, here's the dope, and get this straight. The man who killed Julia Wolf is...
Extra, extra! Read all about it. Al Nunheim shot.
Extra, extra! Nunheim killed before giving clue to Julia Wolf murder case.
Extra, extra, Stewie Nunheim murdered!
What's this, Gil? You think Wynant killed Julia Wolf and Nunheim?
Right.
Why?
2 reasons. First off, Mimi Wynant came across with the watch chain she plucked off Julia's body.
Oh, she did, huh?
It belonged to Clyde Wynant.
Yes, what's the second reason?
A pip. The bullet that killed Nunheim came from the same gun.
That's all right, Inspector.
Just all right. It's perfect. Clyde Wynant is guilty of both those murders.
Maybe.
What?
50 will still give you 100. I say Wynant's innocent.
Well, you can say what you want, but I'm spreading a dragnet for that guy over every town in these United States. And I'll get him, too.
Calling all cars. Calling all cars. Cover all roads leaving the city. Pick up a tall, thin man with white hair. Last seen wearing dark black suit. Calling all cars. Calling all cars.
You think they'll find him, Nick? He must be in New York.
Probably is.
Oh, it's getting me down. I saw Dorothy today.
Yeah? What?
She's broken off her engagement.
What for?
Don't ask me. She was a little hysterical. Something about not wanting to ruin her fiancé's life, daughter of murder, and all that.
Poor kid. See you later, darling.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to take Asta for a walk.
He's just been for a walk.
So, we're going sightseeing, aren't we, Asta?
What are you up to?
Well, I've got a hunch. I'm going down to look at Winans' shop. I want to find out why it's closed.
Why shouldn't he close it? He went away.
But he went away lots of times when I knew him, but he never closed his shop. I've got a hunch something is up.
You mean he might be hiding there?
I don't know. This thing has got my goat. I've got to find out.
Nick, I won't have you going down there.
Say, you're the one who got me into this.
I know, but this is different. He's a crazy man. He might kill you.
I'll be all right. I've been asked to protect me.
Oh, go on. Go on, see if I care. But it's a dirty trick bringing me all the way to New York just to make me a widow.
Well, you wouldn't be a widow long.
You bet I wouldn't.
Not with all your money.
Oh, you dog.
Goodbye, darling.
Nicky, take care of yourself, won't you?
Sure I will.
Don't say it that way. Say it as if you meant it.
Well, I believe the little woman cares.
I don't care. I'm just used to you, that's all.
Sure. So long, darling. Come on, Asta.
Goodbye. And call me, darling, please. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Asta? Asta, if you let anything happen to him, you'll never wag that tail again.
How much do I love you?
Lux Radio Theater's production of The Thin Man.
Nick is on his way to Clyde Wynant's deserted laboratory in a dark and desolate section of the city. His cab veers sharply around the corner and pulls up in front of a gloomy, old, rickety building.
Say, mister, are you sure this is the place you want?
Looks like it. Come on, Asta, jump. How much do I owe you?
$1.20. You don't want me to wait, do you?
Oh, no, thanks.
That's good. You know, this ain't no neighborhood to be in at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to get out of here.
There you are.
Thanks. Well, good luck.
Come on, Asta. Asta, come on.
Hello.
Nora, what are you doing here?
I beat you down. I want to go with you, Nick.
Now listen.
No, you're not going to that place alone, and that settles it. Now get out that skeleton key of yours and open that door. I'm here to stay.
All right, come on.
Nice neighborhood Wynant's picked out for his laboratory. I can almost hear the chains rattling. You believe in ghosts, Nicky?
Shh. And there we are. Come in, quiet.
Nick, it's awfully dark in here.
I'll get a flashlight on as soon as we close the door. Asta, shut up. Go on, Nora.
Which way?
Straight ahead. We've got to get a layout of the place.
It looks awfully big to me. You can't even see into the corners.
Don't let the shadows frighten you.
Who's frightened?
Hold it.
What's the matter?
It looks like Wynant's work table.
More like a slab in the morgue. Look, Nick. There's a cement floor all around.
Yeah, come on.
Where to now?
Well, there's an old desk up along that wall. I want you to take a look at it.
What do you expect to find?
Well, darling, if I knew what I'd find, I wouldn't...
Shh. What is it, Nick?
It's just a loose board, I
It
guess.
sounds like somebody was walking over that way.
Not just your imagination. There's no one here but us.
No? What about Wynant? It's his workshop. Why couldn't he be hiding out here? What's that?
It's Asta. He's scratching on the cement around the work table. Come here, boy. Asta, stop it. Stop. Did you hear what I said, Asta?
Nick, look at him. He's after something. I've seen him scratch the ground like that when he was looking for...
Asta. Asta, no. No. Look at this. New cement, listen.
Nick,
It's hollow. I wonder if I could find something to dig it up.
there's an iron bar on the table. I just saw it.
Ah, good. Now, if I can just dig a hole in that cement, we'll find out what's under there.
Oh, Nick, I'm scared.
Okay. Asta, be quiet. Try to keep moving.
Asta, come here.
Okay, once more. There she goes. I'm through the cement. Asta, get away from there. Get away. Phew.
Nick, what is it? What's he after?
We must get Inspector Guild here.
What's under there?
A body. Must have been there for weeks.
Oh, Nick.
Wait a minute. Wait. You reporters, you'll get your story as soon as I can give it to you. Until then, you gotta leave us alone. Come on now, get out. Those reporters are enough to drive a guy nuts. Well, you were right, Nick. It was a body. A skeleton, rather, buried in lime. I wonder what Wynant had against this one.
Did you find any clothes?
Yeah, but no identification on him. Just a silver belt buckle with the initials DWR.
DWR? Who was that?
Well, I got an idea. That case you worked on, the guy who threatened to kill Wynant, what was his name?
Rose Green.
Yeah, Rose Green. He said Wynant tried to steal an invention.
Yes, but we figured it was just blackmail.
Yeah, just the same, Wynant wouldn't mind having him out of the way, would he? And according to the doc, the body's been here at least a couple of months.
That's just about the time Wynant closed the shop.
Right.
Did you put the skeleton through the fluoroscope yet?
Half an hour ago, we found the bullet he was killed with, and something in the leg bone. An old piece of shrapnel.
Shrapnel?
Yeah, why?
Shrapnel in the leg bone. He probably limped.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. Well, so long, Inspector. I'm going to pick up my wife, take her home. It's been a long night.
So long. You give her my best, would you?
Right.
Where are you going, Nick?
Back to the hotel, my sweet, pack our bags and take a nice trip somewhere.
A trip? Oh, no.
Bless my soul, when I gave you 3 murders, you're not satisfied.
I want you to stay and find Wynant.
I did find him.
What do you mean?
He was down in the shop.
Nick,
It was his body that was buried there.
Nick, you'd better lay off the liquor.
That's a fact.
Wynant's body?
Yep.
But they all said it was Rosebreed's.
Well, that's what they think. Guild and all of them, they take it for granted that it's just another of Wynant's victims. Guild's hot-footing it around now looking for Wynant. That's all the trouble's in.
What makes you so sure it's Wynant's body?
Several things.
Nick, you'll drive me crazy. What things? What things made you so sure?
Oh, well, the clothes, for instance, they were carefully preserved, and the body was just as carefully destroyed. The person who killed him counted on one thing, that all skeletons look alike.
Well, don't they?
Sure. I remember that Wynant had some shrapnel in his shin. It often bothered him. They found it under the fluoroscope.
How long has he been dead?
A couple of months, anyway.
Then he couldn't have committed those other murders.
Smart gal.
Wynant dead? Does Dorothy know?
No, nobody but you. I didn't even tell Guild.
Why not?
I want to lie low until I get the whole dope. I don't want to go off half-cocked.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to get the real murderer, and I've got an idea. Want to see me take him?
Yes.
Got a nice evening dress?
I've got a Lulu. Why?
I'm going to give a party and invite all of the suspects.
The suspects? Oh, they won't come.
Well, they'll come. I'll have Guild issue the invitations.
Who do you think did it?
Mimi.
Mimi?
Mimi, Jorgensen, Morelli. Tell me, my dear, what were you doing on the 9th of June? Good evening, everybody.
Charles, what is the meaning of this?
The meaning of what, Mimi?
Why were we all rounded up like common criminals and brought to the city?
Well, to eat, Mimi, and talk. Will everyone please be seated? Dorothy here.
Thank you.
Andy next to her, please.
Oh, and Mr. Charles.
Please.
Where?
Mimi on the other side of Andy. Mr. Jorgensen over there, please.
You're very kind, Mr. Charles.
Not at all. Mr. McCauley next.
Of course.
Morelli.
Bye.
Right where you are.
I say.
Sit down.
All right.
And Gilbert, you can sit just opposite Mom.
Mr. Charles, I have a theory.
We'll listen to it later. Inspector Guild, you and your men will stand by the door, please.
Sure.
Fine. Now, Nora, you'll sit here by me.
You give such charming parties, Mr. Charles.
Thank you, Mrs. Charles. Now we're all ready to begin.
Could you please pass the celery, Mrs. Wynant?
No, I will not. I demand to know why we are here.
Before dinner? All right. I've got some very important news. I've seen Wynant.
You did?
Oh, that's nothing. I saw him myself.
You did? Where?
Last night, he came to see me at my apartment.
Oh, he did? And what did he say?
He didn't have very much to say. Wanted to know how I was and how the children were.
I am afraid you're lying, Mimi. You see, I really did see Wynant last night.
Are you kidding?
No,
Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you hold him?
because I found out for certain that he didn't commit the murders.
All right, let him have his say.
Thank you. Morelli, you knew Julia. Was she jipping Wynant, taking dough on the sly?
She don't say she is, but I figure she is, yeah.
Thank you. Now, I'll tell you why I know Wynant didn't commit those murders. 3 months ago, Wynant found out that Julia was cheating him and was splitting with some man. He went to find the man, and he did. That man was desperate. He knew that he was caught dead to rights, and with prison staring him in the face, he took the only way out. He killed Wynant. It's terrible to tell you this way, but your father is dead, Dorothy.
Dead?
He's been dead for 3 months.
Oh, dead! Oh,
Darling, don't cry, please. I know it's terrible, but isn't it really better this way?
Oh, Auntie!
You'd better take her home, Andy.
Yes, Mrs. Charles. Come on, darling.
Let them out, Inspector.
Open up.
Don't cry, darling.
This is absurd. How can Clyde be dead? You said yourself you saw him last night.
So I did. I saw him lying buried in his shop.
You mean that body?
It was Wynant's.
Perfectly absurd.
And the murderer is right here in this room tonight. He's sitting at this table.
You're not going to keep us in the dark, are you? Tell us. Who is it?
I don't know. But I thought if we all had a little get-together, we might be able to find out. I'll tell you as much as I know. Go right on eating. This murderer is a very clever man. He studied this thing out very carefully. You'd understand that, wouldn't you, Gilbert?
What? Yes, but no.
He planned the whole thing beautifully. After he killed Wynant, he wired McCauley using Wynant's name and told him to shut up the shop. He destroyed all of Wynant's clothes with the exception of his watch chain. He figured that someday that might come in handy. Then he took Wynant's body and buried it in the shop with another man's clothes to throw us off the track. He even put a belt buckle with an R on it, hoping that we'd think it was Rosebreed, an old enemy of Wynant's who dropped out of sight years ago. Morelli, would you mind holding your knife another way? You're worrying Gilbert.
If that knife is missing, I'll look for it in your bag.
After our hero had killed Wynant, he got a brilliant idea. He realized that he and Julia could still collect money. Wynant was supposed to be on a trip, no one knew where, so our dinner guest wrote letters to Macaulay signing Wynant's name so that Macaulay would continue to send the money to Julia. He even telephoned Macaulay. Do you remember, Macaulay, the first day that you came to see me? He telephoned that he was in town.
It must have been Wynant. I should have known if it weren't his voice.
No, he was clever about that. He called when you were out. The same afternoon, Julia telephoned to him. She said that you were coming, Mimi, to ask about Wynant. He got terrified. He was afraid that Julia would break down and tell, so he went to Julia and killed her and left Wynant's watch chain in her hand.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Why are you saying it?
It's the only way that makes sense.
I hope you're well.
His plan was still working beautifully. Wynant was established as being in town. The watch chain was handed over with a slight delay to the police. The only hitch was a man named Nunheim who had found out something. Our hero paid Nunheim once to keep his mouth shut, and when Nunheim threatened him again, he bumped him off. But our hero had just one weak link in his chain. The telegrams, wires, and telephones were all very well, but no one had seen Wynant. So he picked on poor Mimi here to strengthen his case. Mimi is the only one at the table who can tell us who the real murderer is. Mimi, who was it that told you to say you'd seen Wynant?
Nobody told me. I did see him.
What did he pay you, Mimi, to stick to that story?
It isn't a story, it's true. I did see Wynant. He is not dead.
Now you're lying, Mimi, but then you do anything for money. You're getting a good price for saying you saw Wynant, and you figure you won't get anything if he's dead.
I'm not going to stay here to be insulted.
Now sit down. You're getting a good price, Mimi, but don't forget this. 2 other people were in with him on the deal, Julia and Nunheim, and when he thought they might spill something, he bumped them off. You ought to know darn well that he's not going to take any chances on you. What do you want to do? Be next on his list?
No! No!
Then who is he? Who paid you that money?
Macaulay!
Why, you dirty little...
I think that'll hold him for a while.
Boy, oh boy, what a wallop. Hey, nice work, Mr. Charles.
There's your man, Inspector, Mr. Macaulay.
I can't believe it.
What do you want me to do? Wrap him up in cellophane, pick him up, and get him out of here?
Come on, boys, grab him.
Nick! Oh, you took him. I knew you would.
Yeah, another case like this, and I'd have thought I was in a prize fight.
Oh, Nicky, you're grand. You're glorious.
I bet you say that to all the boys.
At words poetic, I'm so pathetic that I always have found it best, instead of getting them off my chest, to let it rest unexpressed.
I hate parading my serenading as I probably miss a bar. But if this ditty is not so pretty, at least it'll tell you how great you are. You're the top. You're the Colosseum.
You're the town. You're the Louvre Museum. You're a melody from a symphony by Strauss.
You're a Bendel bonnet, a Shakespeare sonnet, you're Mickey Mouse. You're the Nile. You're the Tower of Pisa.
You're the smile on the Mona Lisa.
I'm a worthless chick.
A total wreck of flop. But if baby I'm the bottom, you're the top. You're the top. You're Mahatma Gandhi.
You're the top.
This verse I've started seems to me the tip antithesis of melody. So to spare you all the pain,
We'll skip the darn thing and sing you the refrain. The night is young, the skies are clear, and if you want to go walking, dear, it's delightful, it's delicious, it's lovely.
I understand the reason why you're sentimental, 'cause so am I.